Hey, what's up? It's Symphony here. Subscribe to my brother Mr. Creepy as Hell channel, and when you're watching his videos, make sure you stay in one piece.
There's a lot of things in this world that people can't comprehend, such as paranormal things. People don't believe in those things. They believe there's always a logical way or a scientific way to explain them, or UFOs, or anything else that's not with the logic of people. Well, I was one of those people. I never believed in UFOs or extraterrestrial beings until I had my own weird experience that science or logic can't even comprehend. My name is Ashton, and this is my story. I was walking home from work. I work at a small local grocery store. It was on the countryside. And as I was walking home, which my house was not that far from my job, it was only a 10-minute walk. As I was walking, I noticed something didn't feel right. I looked up in the sky, and that's when I saw it. It was a weird-looking ship. I can't really describe it, but it was something I've never seen before. It was a flying saucer, but the bottom of it looked like a mirror. I can see my reflection on it as it beamed down on me, really low, to the point I can almost touch it. The spaceship didn't even make a sound. It was just lights all over it, and it was bright. The next thing I remember was I felt really dizzy. My eyes felt heavy, and I passed out. I remember going in and out of consciousness. I couldn't really tell what was going on, but I just saw white all around me. I can feel my arms and legs were restrained. It felt like a dream, but I knew it was real. I looked around, but I didn't see anything. I also noticed that I was completely naked. I tried to scream, but my voice, it felt like I couldn't say a word. I felt numb, paralyzed. And then the last thing I remember was I saw this long, tall figure walking towards me. It had long hands, long limbs, but I couldn't see the face of this figure. The next thing I remember was blacking out. I remember waking up on the sidewalk of the country dirt road. My clothes were on and I didn't feel anything. The only thing I noticed was I had dark spots all over my hands and all over my body. It looked like I had chicken pox, but I know that's not what it was. I got home and I rubbed some ointment on myself, and I went off to bed because I was really tired. The next morning when I woke up, I felt incredibly nauseous. My head was pounding. I didn't know what was going on with me. I felt so sick to the point I had to call out and stay home from work. Later on that day, I kept on throwing up. It's like I couldn't stop getting sick. Eventually, I decided to call my mother because I was so sick I couldn't even drive. And when she came, she took me to the hospital. They told me that I just had food poisoning, a really bad case of it, but I know that wasn't the case. Something happened to me on board that ship. I was injected with something that this world has never seen or heard of. I don't know what it was, but I do know for one thing, everything that happened to me was real. And I know a lot of people who are listening to this are very skeptic, which I don't blame them. It's hard to really wrap your head around the fact that there are other life forms out there. I later found out that on that same night when I was abducted, that there were other cases that I saw online that claimed that they were abducted by some unseen force and by a weird spaceship that came down from the sky without any sound. It matched my story as well. They were abducted, they were on the ship completely naked, their hands and legs were restrained. And then once they came down here, woke up, they were on the side of the road. The next morning, they had spots all over them. Like me, they felt nauseous and they were constantly vomiting. To mention the extreme migraine headache they also received as well. I decided to go ahead and go public with my story after hearing the other 10 people's experience. As I expected though, there were plenty of people who were skeptical of our story, but we stand firm and we told our stories over and over again. I really didn't care that people didn't believe me. I just wanted to get the story out, because what I experienced was really strange and very creepy. The weirdest thing that ever happened to me.